Hi everyone, my name is Mario Pennone and I'm AC Drive Product Manager at Bag Automation Europe. For today's demonstration, we will use this test bench that includes an ADV200 3 kilowatt drive, 400 volt, a control box that is simulating an external operator or an external controller giving command to the drive, and all the feedbacks that are needed in order to give the status from the field to the drive itself. And an asynchronous motor, 1.5 kilowatts. Now, let's review the connections of the drive in terms of power and control. Consider that you may find all the safety precautions to be followed in the manual of the product, on the safety warning, and on the nameplate of the drive. Let's start from the power connections. All the power connections are at the bottom of the drive. The three-phase line input are at the left, L1, L2, L3, and the ground connection is here. The power output to the motor is on the right of the connection, U, V, W, with this grounding connection. Terminals C and D are the CD plus and CD minus of the DC bus link. In the connector, you may also see BR1 and BR2, which are the two terminals of the braking resistor in case the drive includes the braking IGBT that is available up to 55 kilowatt. In this case, as you see, there is no braking resistor connector since the motor has no load. There is a warning label just informing that C and D are not intended to connect the braking resistor. Power connectors are removable up to frame 3, and consider that all the regulation card connection and option card connection are always removable. In order to access the control part of the connector, you will have to remove the bottom side of the cover of the drive. There are a couple of screws on the bottom that need to be unscrewed. You may use a standard Phillips screwdriver for that. And then you will get access to the control side of the drive. As you can see, the control wiring of the drive are in this position. There are two connectors, one on top, one at the bottom. The one on top is called T2, and it includes most of the digital input of the drive, which are used to command the functions of the drive itself. As we already said, there is one input that has to be present in order to run the drive, that is the enable command on input 7. This is a mandatory wiring, otherwise we won't be able to make the drive work. On the other connector, T1, you may find different signals, including the analog input, which is usually used to provide the speed reference to the drive. You may see there are other connectors and settings on this part of the drive. In particular, we may see the D sub 9 pin connectors, that is the MODBUS RTU RS485 communication connection. This may be upgraded to a RJ45 connection through this converter. That is an optional part that may be ordered, and it allows to convert the MODBUS RTU protocol into a MODBUS TCP protocol, which may be very useful in order to speed up the communication with the drive. In this section, there are other switches and jumpers. In particular, there is one jumper that is used to configure the drive for the usage in Europe or US. If it is left open, it will configure automatically the drive for 400 volt, 50 Hertz. If it is closed, the drive will be configured for US, so 460 volt and 60 Hertz. These switches are used to configure the analog input and output in value of current or voltage. To finish the overview, you may see on the lower part these omega clamps, which are used to connect the shielding of the cables to the ground of the drive in order to reduce possible electrical disturbances. The upper part of the cover may be removed, loosening the two screws you may find in this position. And that's it. You can put the cover in this way in order to access all the parts inside the drive. In the upper part, we can find the slots for inserting the optional boards. ADV200 may be expanded with a range of expansion cards for increasing the functionalities. These boards may be allocated in one of the 3 slots available, connected to the regulation board of the drive. For instance, there are different encoder boards in order to connect different encoder types, providing the velocity and position feedback for enabling advanced drive functionalities. In this case, you see in the central slot, there is the card that is reading the motor encoder. To extend drive functionalities, expansion cards for additional I/Os or communication cards for different field buses may be allocated in the different slots. If the drive is ordered with the suffix SI, the drive will have the STO function option board installed in the factory. It will appear in this position if available. This will complete the drive functionality with some safety functionality like the Save Torque Off function. Now I will reset the drive cover. In order to put the cover in place again, we have to repeat in reverse order the operation we already did to remove it. We have reached the end of this tutorial. Please consider that all the information about the installation and parameterization of the drive may be found on the manuals you may download from the WEG website. Thank you for watching this video and stay tuned for more videos to come.